sounds ill.
It always does. Okay, so it's 1:30. So I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to say, "Hi, I'm Anthony John Agnello's replacement today. I'm Ludwig Kitzman. I'm the U.S. Editor-in-Chief for Games Radar Plus, which is a really cool website that writes about pretty much every single video game in existence to a ridiculous degree, especially if it's Destiny. Let's face it."
Okay, we do write a lot about Destiny. That's absolutely true.
A lot of people read about Destiny, though. It's not my fault.
Read about Destiny.
It's not your fault. I'm joined by Susan Arndt, who's our managing editor. And I believe your role this week in How It's Done, which is our show where we usually get someone who is involved with the creation of a game to walk us through it, and we talk about it and we ask them questions. You're the Bedlam expert until the author arrives.
Yes.
Who's Christopher Brookmyre. He's going to join us at 5 p.m. Eastern, or that would be 2 p.m. Pacific. We're going to call him in, add him via Skype, and we're going to ask him some questions. But for now, I'm going to ask you questions, Susan, because I'm very unfamiliar with Bedlam. But it looks like a nice gentleman is waiting to introduce me to the game.
You just want hug. Yeah, he's there to give hugs. So the shtick of Bedlam, and one of the reasons why people who just see a little bit of it maybe get a little confused, is you have found yourself pulled into the world of video games. So you'll be playing through representations of games that go across genres and across different time periods. So one of the first level in the book, and I believe the first level in the game, is modeled after like a 90s shooter. Your Quake, your Doom, your
games that you would have played if you were of a certain age.
Exactly. So
okay.
the graphics are going to reflect that. The physics are going to reflect that. It's going to look and feel like an old 90s shooter.
So am I going easy, medium, or hard?
Oh, medium.
Like if I was Anthony, I would be like hard, because...
Of course, because he's an idiot. But
let's do medium.
Okay, yeah, I think medium is totally appropriate.
It's loading. First level is apparently called Alive 1. I see a sign that says Neurosphere. I think you know what that means.
I do, yes. So, again, in the book, and if I highly, highly recommend the book, Bedlam, by Christopher Brookmyre. It's very, very good. And it understands, it is clearly coming from someone who understands video games and appreciates them and doesn't just use them to try and, suck you in with references. Neurosphere is where the hero of the book, Ross, works. And it's where the technology that ends up, and I don't want to give away too much, that ends up getting people into the games comes from.
So I was in a purely white room, and now I'm in this sort of pixelated, Quake-like video game.
Right. When the book begins, Ross is helping one of his coworkers, whose name's Soderburn, with an experiment, and he's getting his brain scanned. And so he goes into this room that's all white, and he wakes up on a planet, and he doesn't understand what's going on. And then eventually he recognizes that this is actually a game he played when he was in college.
Huh. Even the sky is pixelated, and you have these, I guess these are bones, or they kind of look like skeletal hands digging through.
Right.
Through the ground.
Yeah, it's very... Christopher really... he's clearly a gamer. He understands the kinds of things that were, hallmarks of games of different eras, and this is... Oh my god, it's so 90s. It's so
my character just wondered aloud where the hell she is. So we were playing someone else. I'm not playing...
Yeah, we're not playing as Ross.
I believe we're playing as Heather, that's all I know. My cursory research into Bedlam has got me that far.
Yeah, we will definitely have to talk to Christopher to see the distinction between the book and the game. Does your dog Duke get to come with you? No. Sadly, no, Yodel. You do not have a doggy companion, which is very sad.
Although I do have a doggy companion on the couch next to me. She's sleeping. Let's hope she sleeps throughout the whole stream.
I hope she doesn't, so she can join us on the stream.
I don't think she has she doesn't have the same kind of historical background to provide deep video game commentary because she's only 5 months old.
That's true.
So,
that's fair. But she is extremely cute.
Oh, okay, I'm crouching. I feel very short in this game, but I feel like that was the effect of older 90s games. Like when you see older first-person shooters, you always feel like you're low because you're at the same level as the gun.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm supposed to report to the sergeant. That's really important, I think.
Yes, it is.
Press space to jump.
That was not virtual pain.
She just said that was not virtual pain, so the pain you feel in the game is real?
Ish. I don't want to give away
Can anybody hear me?
too much. Because
So
the
man,
story
you move
is
so
actually,
quickly in this game, it's funny.
the story is actually very, very good. And yes, I completely agree. You feel like you're about 3 feet tall.
I was just accused of faffing about. That seems very British. Like, I don't know if...
Terribly, 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 terribly British.
So I'm okay with. I enjoy saying faffing about.
Yes. Stop faffing about.
So Bedlam is not about a small sheep sleeping in a bed.
Sadly,
It's
no.
not about a sheep taking a nap.
It is not. I would play that game.
Yes.
I would absolutely. So, complete aside, I just discovered that some past seasons of the
Like he face planted a display
Great British Bake Off are on Netflix.
I'm on his
So
side.
I started watching them last night, one of the seasons, and it takes place on this thing. If you don't know, it's a cooking competition where they have the contestants cook in tents. I'm not sure why they're in tents, but they are. Anyway, it's on this farm with lambs. So in between every round, they cut to the lambs who are just walking around going, eh. That's it. It's awesome.
This is really funny. She just saw a reflection of herself or the character that she is
I'm not.
Yes.
in the game and kind of insulted. Said he looked like he face planted into a Radio Shack display case.
Oh, Radio Shack. Pour one
But it's
out for
me.
Radio Shack. Yes.
So I guess this is the sergeant. He's telling me to do stuff.
Sergeants tend to do that.
Press V to salute Gortos.
Oh,
really sorry.
yeah.
I
Do
didn't
that.
mean to.
Oops.
Contamination
Yeah.
complete.
So let's go ahead and say that's the melee attack.
This is really funny because that happens exactly in the book. And it's a complete accident at the time, and that's really awesome that it's in the game. That makes me very happy.
Ooh, I got a gun. It's not a great gun. They never saw you out with a good one, do they?
No, exactly. It is driving me crazy that you can't go through these vents.
This isn't a Deus Ex game.
I know! But, you know, I've been conditioned. And the gun is always just floating. There's no hand. You have no
Yeah, I
hand.
can see like there's just like kind of bobbing along as I move.
I know. The
I
blood.
picked up some ammo, floating ammo, as one does in these kinds of games.
The blood is magical. Is this a shot-for-shot remake of the book? So far, pretty much. It skipped. Well, it's starring somebody else because the hero of the book is Ross, and this is not Ross, obviously, because it's a girl. And it skipped a lot of the real-world stuff, where Ross, you find out that he had a fight with his girlfriend, and he overhears some folks talking at work about why he had a fight with his girlfriend, and other stuff like that. So this just gets right into the action. But so far,
You know who Buzzkill is? Because I'm being contacted by someone called Buzzkill.
what is Buzzkill saying?
It looks like she's like trying to give me some advice, but she gets cut off.
Oh, interesting.
This totally feels like an old game, like a retro shooter.
And
Which is
see,
both good and bad, I think.
exactly. See, that's the thing. Like, if you buy into the shtick, it's awesome. Like, you can
Yeah.
totally appreciate it.
Makes sense if it's justified. She's trying to make contact, this Buzzkill person.
Oh, okay. That's slightly different from the book. But yeah, but you can see why somebody who just maybe hops into the stream and is like, why does this look like it's 20 years old?
By design.
But it is on purpose. It is all serving part of a larger narrative.
We're fighting the Gaians.
You're just fighting some dudes. Oh, the compass.
Bloods are also just like red squares pouring out of
I know.
Love it. Love it.
Destroy comms jammer. Ah.
So Someone's been jamming comms again. I can't believe it. Is that a turret? I guess it's a turret.
Oh my god.
There we go. Nice pixelated explosion. Take care of that. You're about to see it on the stream.
I also love that in total keeping with the 90s shooter thing, there's like 3 guys on the map.
Yeah.
Christ, so I'm a cyborg who needs a video card upgraded.
Oh yeah, that is a very, very pixely explosion. I love it.
Maybe this is the way out.
So there's like an interference. It looks like a portal that I could walk through, maybe. Before I do that, I just want to, as this is a shooter, I have to explore. See if I didn't miss anything before I trigger the next cutscene.
Need to get out of Starfire.
Okay, so Buzzkill says I need to get out of Starfire. I think that's the game, right?
Correct, yes.
Starfire is the game. Alright. Oh man.
Easily
Guns
found
firing rate is so slow.
is everything in the game and book 90s based, or do things modernize over time? So, in the book and the game, several different game worlds are all connected. And
I think I just walked into the space between those games.
yes, exactly.
Like a weird, surreal space that I'm in right now.
Yes, exactly. There are places, like where you are, if you know where the cracks are, you can walk, and it's just like a cheat code. Like you walk outside the geometry of the game.
Just said my brother's old voodoo card would never have handled this. 3DFX voodoo reference, that's pretty cool.
Right. And so, I was saying to Ludwig earlier, lots of different games get referenced. It's a mix of games that they created just for this, like Starfire, obviously was not a real game. But there's Silent Hill is one of the places that they're trying to get to, ironically. But then they'll also reference other games. I think they reference Grand Theft Auto, and so yes, it's a mixture of old games and then newer ones. And it's called Bedlam, Charlie Boy.
Increase my look speed a little bit.
Bedlam, by the way, was the protagonist's online handle when he played video games.
I just got a crossbow, which seems anachronistic somehow.
What happens is when you go from game to game, you have to use whatever comes with the game. Like you can't have a shotgun in a medieval Civ or something like that, unless you have the cheat codes.
So I think it's showing me the controls of the game in like a weird text file. You're about to see it on the stream.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yes.
Oops. Now we get to see what happens when you fall to death in space between games. You are dead. Load lost save. Do I have one?
Uh-oh.
I do not.
Oh no!
What is the quick save? Come on, let's double check that.
Let's find that out.
It really is 90s. We didn't even think about that. We're just like, it'll autosave, probably.
Nope.
Incorrect.
So does this let you cross between Mario Kart timelines? No. Mario Kart is canon.
Right, that would be too dangerous.
That would just, we can't. There are some things
far too dangerous.
There are fixed points in time.
All right, F5 is save. Although I did see a save icon, but I guess it only did it at the beginning of the stage. So we're not way at the beginning. Like,
oh, okay.
But now that I know what I'm doing, I can get there pretty quickly. Okay, so there is an autosave. That was just like not the best checkpoint.
The checkpoints are, if memory serves, a little far apart. But then again, it's very 90s.
Also, they didn't count on me being an idiot and falling off the edge right away.
But I feel like they should. You know, like, if there is a chance to fall off something, somebody's gonna fall off. I am the death by misadventure queen.
You're testing the video game's rules.
Yes.
You have to be sure before you, behave all cautiously.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Cowards who don't know how to strike.
Does this game look kind of like how it was described in the book?
Absolutely. Perfectly. Perfectly. That's the thing. That's one of the things I really enjoy about the book is if you are familiar with video games, if you are a big video game fan, then you immediately key into all of the things he's talking about, but he's not just dropping references for the sake of dropping references. It's not there to make you go, oh, I know what he means. It serves a function. Like, for example, when Bedlam first finds himself in Starfire and realizes that he looks like one of the cyborgs, he realizes that that means he's an enemy character. So he can't do anything the player character does. He can't open doors. He can't pick up ammo. He can't do, like, he can't interface with the world at all.
Right.
On the flip side, it also means he can walk past all the checkpoints where normally enemies would spawn. Because he's not the player character, so they're not spawning for him. Stuff like that. And then stuff like walking through the geometry, different games having different...
Wait, that's where I came from. I guess I'm supposed to do something over here. Or maybe I'm supposed to get the crossbow and go back. Because my objective is still destroy the comms thingy.
Oh, that's true.
Destroy the comms thingy.
The thingy. There doesn't seem... Unless there's another portal
fall
here?
damage? Nope, no fall damage.
No, there's no fall damage.
Yay. Okay, let's go back into Starfire.
If you see an infinity symbol anywhere, follow it.
Okay. It's a book pro tip.
Yes, book pro tip.
It's kind of, I think if I read...
Wait, look. Over there on the left, there was an infinity symbol.
That's
Where?
impossible.
It was up on the wall.
I'm in
That's the problem. I'm behind you on the stream.
Right.
the 90s.
So I think it's going to be hard for me to not see this if I read the book now. Like, this is going to be...
Yeah.
It's like, when you see a movie before you read the book, and then you can't help but envision characters in the book as the ones from the movie.
But I think that's... given how descriptive he is in the book, it'll mesh up really nicely. I mean, he describes, the purpleness of everything, and how it looks like... But when he's actually there, it looks more like rock as opposed to the incredible geometry going on here.
Yeah. This is some cutting-edge graphics.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Oh yeah.
She's complaining about the textures, so I like that. Your character is kind of analyzing the situation as sort of how the fidelity holds up of the video game.
Oh,
It's not like, oh, this is a weird scientific facility. It's just like, look at the textures on this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so blurry.
Oh my.
Although it still kind of has like it doesn't look bad. Like, I think it looks unique and it has kind of like a very dated feel.
Well, when we talk...
I don't think it looks ugly, right? Like, it looks deliberately crafted to appear a certain way, so not ugly.
That's the thing. It's when we talked to Christopher when this was still in beta, the trick was to make it look like you remember a 90s video game looking.
Yeah.
Not actually make it like a 90s
because it would look far worse than this. It certainly wouldn't be running at 1080p like it does now.
So it's all about getting the spirit of it without actually just copy-pasting.
Man, but like once you get into the rhythm of these games, like I feel like these kinds of games are so hard for me to put down.
Really?
Like just like the speed of movement and like the walking, running, shooting, that kind of like feel.
Well, you're 3 feet tall.
It's really intoxicating to me.
You're so low to the ground.
Yeah, it's like why I grew up in like the Doom games, so this is it feels like old times.
I do feel like you are more likely to enjoy this game if you are a PC gamer or have spent most of your time as a gamer playing PC games, because it is very, very PC centric.
I just picked up a very primitive looking shotgun. This is great. Love it. Double barrel shotgun.
Play the thing more often. Had to sneak into his room when he was out, get past the force field of spunky tissues.
It's a bit. Hoplon says it's a bit more unreal than Doom.
I mean, provided Doom 1 and 2 didn't have mouse aim to this degree.
Right, exactly.
So I think it's fair, but I think like the sense of movement is a little more Doomy. That's why I didn't really care that much for Doom 3, although I do think it's a very interesting game. It didn't feel like a good successor to Doom to me personally, because of how slower it was, and like how it felt more like a survival horror game than like a run-and-gun blastathon.
Yeah.
Unlike the new Doom, which is very much in line with this.
Right.
Except it has absurdly high production value.
The thing that I enjoyed about Doom 3 was that you had like audio diaries to listen to, and it was very much more like.
Oh, I think I found the comm thingy. I'm gonna
blow it up,
destroy it with my crappy gun, so I don't waste ammo.
But yeah, it was a fun game, but it was not a good Doom game.
Oh, I guess I'm just gonna deactivate it. I'll destroy it.
Oh. No, it tells you, it wants you to destroy it. You can't just turn it off.
I want sit reps from every sector right now. This is Dagger Squad, Alpha Sector. Invasion forces have broken through in Sigma Sector.
Yeah, Hoplon, if you've been primarily a PC gamer since the 90s, you will really dig Bedlam, I think.
We need reinforcements before
the book, at least.
Oh yeah, I'm super intrigued by this right now.
Yeah.
You're clearly not meant to care about the story that's happening in this game as much as, you know, what's happening
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
we can't afford to have that happen.
Where am I supposed to go next?
That is an excellent question.
Do you remember when you used to play games and you didn't know where to go next?
We're so spoiled now. It's bad. I get very impatient now. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Well, I mean, I think if a game is like dependent on pacing, you can't have that happen. But if it's like about exploration, then I'm okay with it happening.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I feel like some developers are just too scared. They feel like you'll have 1 minute of I don't know where to go, and you'll be like, screw this game. Turn it off.
Alan Wake suffers from that a lot. Like you'll just be looking around and trying to figure things out, and all of a sudden Alan will think the answer to himself. Like,
press E to teleport. Okay.
I bet I should go down here. Like, thank you. I would have really liked to have been able to figure that out on my own. Spooky game.
Yeah. Alan Wake definitely had way too many like those little text pop-ups and follow the nav beacon stuff. You should have been able to disable that, I think, just in the menu.
Now you're teleporting to Sigma Sector.
Remember, we need to see blue lights on all three at the same time.
Domination? Are you kidding me? All I've got is an arm spike and this glorified hairdryer. I couldn't dominate.
I keep forgetting to use my arm spike.
Oh god, the arm spike is so funny. But you haven't really needed it yet. You've been doing just fine with your crappy little gun.
Arm spike. Arm spike. Pleased to meet you. I'm sorry. Okay, it is a little bit awkward to use. Alright, we're outside again. Oh, I love it when bullets are slow moving enough that you can just dodge them.
Because that's how things work.
Yeah. Let's destroy turret.
And I love that the save icon is a little floppy disk, because of course it is.
But it still is, even in games that don't have this aesthetic. Like, people just like,
True.
It's the universal sign of saving.
But that's the thing, like, people recognize that as who have never used a disk.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that's it's a save game thingy.
Right, right.
Christ.
You brought a knife to a gunfight and won. Says someone with a really unpronounceable name.
Sometimes you do win.
So you have to hold all the beacons, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a capture the flag domination kind of thing.
But by yourself? That's kind of
more or less. I mean, you had to do all this stuff by yourself in all these games.
Did you ever have to do something like domination by yourself?
No.
Yeah.
But I think it will work in this case. I'm just checking my Skype messages to see if Christopher is
he should
ready.
Be. That's Christopher Brookmyre, the author of Bedlam.
All right.
Be joining
him to group call. It's happening.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Christopher. This is Ludwig.
Sorry, it's Will here speaking.
Oh, hi, Will.
I'm just the PR guy. So
you're the intermediary.
So yeah, I'm Will. So I'll just be here in the background. But it's Chris.
Yes, I'm Chris too.
Good evening.
Hi.
Where are you at?
So we're running around Starfire right now, and we're trying to control these points. Susan, I'm going to let you start because I feel like you have a million questions. For Mr. Christopher Brookmyre, who is joining us today, author of Bedlam, and I believe you're also involved with the creation of the game.
Yeah. And is there any way I can see what you guys see? Or is that?
Yeah, if you just go to twitch.tv/gamesradar, we'll be able to see exactly.
Is there going to be a slight delay there, I guess?
There'll be a slight delay as long as you have it muted. It should be fine.
Technology.
I have to say, these turrets are not particularly strong. They're not well made.
Well, good.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was the supplier to this army base, I'd be worried.
We have
about keeping my contract.
We have video.
Yes, excellent. So, once you get up and running, Christopher, for folks who are unfamiliar with the way the game and the book are associated, why don't you walk them through that?
Yeah, we're talking about a whole history of the relationship between games and stories. There's a bit of a received wisdom that video games are an enemy of imagination in childhood, and I'm kind of living proof that that's not true. I've been playing games since the early 1980s, and they inspired my writing. And it came full circle when I wrote initially a book called Pandemonium that was full of gaming references and tropes, and so the guys that read Bedlam read that, and this moved them to get in touch and ask if I'd like to work with them on developing an FPS. And we had this fantastic prolonged discussion about growing up with games and also how games had grown up themselves. And I came away from that discussion thinking I wanted to come up with a game that would encapsulate all those things, not just come up with some standard combat scenario, but actually something that would be about the history of games. So I devised this concept. I guess that one of the eureka moments was thinking that there's lots of stories where someone gets transported to another realm, whether it's in a video game or in another planet, and they're always the hero, and then the destiny always turns around them. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if you found yourself transported somewhere and actually you're nobody, and worse than that, you're actually one of the bad guys, and one of the bad guy grunts whose role is just cannon fodder for the hero. So that was the starting point for it, and when I began to flesh out the idea, I realised this would make a fun novel, and with my creative process I realised the best way to develop the characters and develop the story was to write it as a novel, and that turned out to be quite a profitable strategy, because it meant that when the novel came out, suddenly it was a lot easier for the developers to get investment, because you can show potential investors a novel they can read, they can get their head around that far quicker than some sort of proposal document.
Right. But now the story of Bedlam the game is slightly different from the novel because the novel stars Ross.
Yeah.
And the game does not.
That's a less subtle change. Well, what happened with that was when I'd finished the novel and we all sat down to discuss how we were going to bring it to the screen. And one of the first things, Kerry, who's one of the directors at Red Bedlam, sort of said, well, I think you shouldn't be Ross, which I must say wasn't the best news to me because I'd spent an effort trying to create a nuanced and layered, memorable character, and they were saying, yeah, that's great, now come up with another one.
We love what you've done with this guy, but no.
Yeah, it was really coming down to the fact that
we're in a game.
we know that if you're adapting a book, people, even if they've not read the book and they're aware of the book, they don't want to think that they're having the same experience that they're playing through the story that's already been told. Someone's fate's sealed. And we had a kind of point of reference was Opposing Force, remember the Half-Life expansion pack that you played as Adrian Shepard, I think was the name of the soldier that you played, but every time you'd catch a glimpse of Gordon Freeman, and that was a real thrill because it sort of brought home that the same events were taking place and you had a new perspective on them, so you thought that would be the way to do it, is that Bedlam Ross would be in the game and you'd try and catch up to him, but that you would be something. As I just said, it was an intimidating prospect to come up with a whole new character, and I thought, well, how do I different? My sort of eureka moment was, well, why don't I make it a woman? Rika was followed swiftly by sort of like auto ass kicking of thinking, why did it not occur to me to make the character a woman when I wrote the novel? Because it's a novel about the tropes and conventions of games in general, and I realised that I had a whole new other dimension to that if I'm able to write about a woman's perspective on it, because women have not been terribly well served by their depiction in video games and their experience of playing them. So that was the motivation for creating Heather as a character instead of playing as Ross. And as a writer, that just made it far more enjoyable for me, because I could write about those sort of sexist tropes and cliches in there, and also when we've got the spoof multiplayer section of the game where you get particularly nasty abuse as soon as the teenagers realise that you're playing as a woman. And I thought that would be an instructive experience for one or two gentlemen when they, as a woman and think, wait a minute, this is what it's like when you go online and people realise that you're not one of the guys. In fact, the character, one of the fringe characters, Buzzkill, she explains that's why she's called Buzzkill. Was, when she was on servers and the guys realised that she was a girl, they'd say, "Oh, what a Buzzkill!" So she took it.
So now, we do run into Ross eventually at some point.
Yeah, he does show up.
Okay.
One of the sort of technical implications of the budget that we had is we couldn't have big cutscenes and also couldn't have any lip syncing because that's also expensive and time consuming. So what we decided to do was have dialogue that you're hearing over the airwaves, these communications, and they're coming in sometimes from different game worlds. So you start to get information and dialogue from other characters, and one of those is Ross, Bedlam, and he starts helping you in it's towards the end of the Second World War section.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
We kind of double up on our cliches because there's a zombie mode and it takes place in a sewer level. It's very knowing, we actually call the level, yes, we're going there. And that's where Ross first makes his appearance, and you spend a lot of time trying to catch up to him. And Ross is voiced by a guy called Robert Florence, who's a great Scottish comedy actor and writer.
Oh, nice.
And
Does Cuddles show up at all?
Does what?
Cuddles.
Oh, we weren't able to get Cuddles in there, unfortunately. I know these are some of the things, if you've got a AAA budget, it would have been absolutely fantastic to have. And I'm glad you remembered Cuddles.
How can I forget Cuddles is like one of the best characters in the book.
You could be just the edge we need to turn this turkey.
So I think it's funny to look at these subversive elements and almost look at them as a form of parody. And a lot of games that do parody, they run into the issue of you're just doing the thing that you're making fun of, and me as the player, I'm doing that thing like I would in the games that you're kind of poking fun at. So I was wondering if you had given that consideration and how to actually still, address these issues whilst still not being slave to them by making the player act them out in a way.
It's kind of a balancing act, so I suppose it really all just comes down to whether you can make it funny. One of my favourite moments in the book, and I'm very happy that we managed to implement it in the game, is that quite early on when you encounter one of the sort of Gralag generals and he starts talking to you about prophecy, because that's a trope of these things, that the prophecy that you would come and save the world. He then says, "No, I'm just messing with you, and of course there's no prophecy and you're not a saviour, you're just nobody." And then you accidentally kill him with the salute him.
That's right.
I think just things like that, if you get the tone right, what I miss about the old school FPSs is that they were conscious of their own ridiculousness, and there was a lot of humour in them back in the day. And these days, for all they've got far more technically impressive, they do take themselves horribly
very seriously, yeah.
There's almost like trying to give you post-traumatic stress disorder. And we, all of us, when we talked about what we wanted to do here, we were harking back to those, Duke Nukem in its heyday, and even Quake 2 had a lot of humour in it. They were conscious of the humour of realising that all of your marine buddies are actually now all being turned into chow for the Strogs.
So when you were putting together the story, did you kind of come up with a list of locations and tropes and then sort of pair them up with games that embodied them? Like you've got your sewer level, your zombies, your World War II, your 90s shooter.
Yeah, I think it was quite easy to do that, because I just thought, not so much what did I want to satirise, it really came from what did I love, what did I enjoy, and being aware that some of those things had become cliches, or that some of those things were sort of demonstrably ridiculous. And so what I was trying to do was imagine what it would be like if you were in a really realistic rendering of something like Quake 2, but that the disconnect between game logic and real world logic would remain. So everything would look realistic to you, but some of the weird rules of the physics and the look of that world would still seem as crazy as it does when you're playing a game. So I just thought all the things that I loved, whether it was from playing on my ZX Spectrum in my sort of teen years through to the early days of playing Quake 2 in clans and all of those things. So it was really just a tour of the stuff I enjoyed. And the things that I enjoyed did tend to be ridiculous, so that meant those were the things that were stuck in my mind. I mean, the novel was very much a love letter to not just the FPS genre, but games in general. And Bedlam, the game, we've tried to make that a love letter to the FPS. We're trying to take players back to all the things that we liked about previous types of games, and also show how they've evolved in more recent iterations. So, you've got you're in Starfire here, but later on, towards the end of the game, there's the modern version of Starfire, which is called Planetfire, which looks a bit like Halo, really. And I'm sure Microsoft will be very flattered with the idea. The ultimate evolution of the FPS genre ends up in Halo.
there's a scene in the book when Bedlam is still stuck in Starfire where he goes to a training level where he has to fight this one huge guy. And he's losing, and he finally figures out how to beat him, and he gets very sulky.
the Reaper.
The Reaper. Yeah, that's it.
Named after Stephen Polge's Reaper bot. And he starts accusing Ross of hacks or cheating because I remember when I first played Quake and I had. I think I had like a 16k modem, or a 20k modem, which really you couldn't stay online for any length of time due to
if someone else picked the phone up, it was over.
Or the congestion you had on it, and so I got the Reaper bot, and the Reaper bot was what taught me how to play properly with a keyboard and mouse and how to play tactically, and because it was so unforgiving, the Reaper bot. And I like to imagine what the psychology of this being would be, that it would just live to fight and only want to fight and always want to win. And so it tickled me, the idea that if it did lose, that it would be really, really huffy about it. So that his AI would dictate that the only thing that would make him happy was a rematch. Because I think that's would be his kind of abiding motivation all the time to sort of avenge the shame of having lost. It was also a reminder, when I wrote that chapter, I was just reminding myself of what it was like if I hadn't played in a while and I'd come back to a game and I'd lose, and it was because I was making the same daft mistakes, being too aggressive and forgetting that rule number one is don't get killed.
Well,
I think it's really... Oh, go ahead, Susan.
Well, that's one of the things that really... I think comes through, certainly in the book, and I believe so also in the game, is that this is all coming from such a place of love and affection. For, you run around a 90s shooter and, the blood is all pixely and there's like 3 dudes on the entire planet and stuff. But it's... all of your observations and even when you're poking fun, it's just very clearly coming from this place of I love these things. They were such a big part of my life, and you clearly have affection for them.
Yeah, definitely. This was drove the passion for the whole project. What was great was that the developers had that same passion. We all loved these games. The level designer who designed a lot of these levels was a huge fan of Unreal Tournament. So, he brought his love of that game into the design. So you've got the fake multiplayer level where it looks a lot like one of the Unreal low gravity levels. But we all were sort of taking our memories of the games, because I think when it comes to satire, it comes best when it's coming from that place of love. We're not sneering at the fact that these games have got things in them, nor are we sneering at the progress that's been made in evolving the games. It's to say that these things were inspiring to me as a writer. You get to inhabit these artificial places, and they
I got stuck on the scenery. This is classic.
Yeah, one of the intentionally authentic.
Maybe I can jump myself out of here.
Oh no, are you really stuck?
Yeah.
Oh no.
my foot's stuck. It's like being stuck on a train track. I think I've got a save game though. So
okay.
Just gonna load the most recent one.
See, what I used to do in those situations in other FPSs is when I had a grenade handy, is blow myself out the hole. But I don't think you've got any grenades.
Yeah. I think it's funny how we learn to accept all of these conventions and learn to love them. And I think, Susan, you'll disagree with me, but that's one of the reasons I like Existenz, that movie, because they address things like it's really strange to have a non-player character just stand around waiting for you to talk to it. Like that person's existence in the world is just waiting for you to say the right thing and move on. That's their sole point of existence. So, and I think it's cool that you're framing that kind of thing in this game which is not meant to be immersive in the way that many other shooters try to be, because the part that you're supposed to be immersed in is like the nostalgia of playing this kind of game, right?
Yeah, well, also the part that you're supposed to be immersed in is an overarching story. The story within any given world, you come to realise exists for the NPCs. You know, the NPCs are concerned and they've got their own agenda, which exists purely within that world, whereas the integrity and the diasporados and yourself are you're sort of playing a greater drama where the games themselves are just territories to be controlled by the rival factions.
The thing I like about it, though, is it's not nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia, right? Like, it's not just, hey guys, remember how we all used to play Quake?
Yeah, I think that was, I've been very gratified whenever anyone's picked up on that we weren't just making, I mean, there's some great deliberately retro games.
I have to take revenge on the point that got me stuck, so I have to like shoot it a few times, teach it a lesson.
Show who's boss.
We're kind of keen to stress that, you know, there's a reason for the nostalgia, you know, and one of the early levels you encounter one of those glitches and can walk through into this other world. And we wanted the player to realise early on that there is a story, there's a reason why you're back in the 90s. And in fact, at one point you're going to be back in the 80s because you get to play a Pac-Man clone from first-person perspective.
That is just fucking wrong.
That was what really drew me into the book as well, was because the story starts off in the real world, and we meet Ross and his co-workers and all that, and then suddenly he's in Starfire, and it was entertaining, but I wasn't sure where you were going with it. And then once it really started being less about him being stuck in a game, and that just being kind of a side fact to this bigger story.
I was just attacked by a brain in a jar, by the way.
Were you rude to the brain in the jar?
Well, I mean, I shot it. I don't know if that is considered rude.
By definition,
not pleasant. Yeah, when I came up with the original concept of the novel, I wanted that disorientation. I had fun with the fact that Ross at first thinks he's been transported in space and time, and then he can't understand why he's gone back to where he was because he defeated the hero of the game. You know, it's essentially the game has been reloaded and restarted, and I wanted the reader to sort of share his disorientation, but then to gradually realise what's going on, that there is this interlinked universe of games.
Well, I think I just went through a portal thingy.
I want you to make it to the multiplayer, the fake multiplayer.
Yeah, we'd love to. You know, one of the things we'd love to.
And I just discovered a meme. So, like, there's a meme that exists in this virtual space between video games.
Oh.
What if life is a video game and deja vu are just quick loads?
Oh yeah. I think we're just a few seconds behind you on the Twitch cast here, but yeah, we've got memes in there. Some of these interstitial worlds. I photoshopped a couple of myself once. We've got one of the Gralax saying that, you know, they conquered half the galaxy but can't aim for shit. You know, because that's one of the great contradictions all the time.
I'm reading an email from Isaac Michaels to Ross Baker now.
Oh.
I love that I'm reading it through like the aim down the sights. My gun.
Yeah, this was one of the things we wanted to do. We couldn't afford cutscenes. And Max decided it would be better to tell the story by the dialogue here, and also by finding things like these fragments that have fallen through, and then you can actually, as a player, piece the story together for yourself. I think that's more satisfying to a player
Well, appropriate for a game too, I think.
Yeah, but you know, in games often I think the developers have spent a huge amount of money on CGI cutscenes and they've paid money for maybe an A-list actor to be in there. But it's more fun if you feel like you've discovered the story for yourself, and also if you feel you've worked out the mystery for yourself.
Right.
So we're kind of hoping that players will piece it together. There are a couple of scenes where we do hold you somewhere and you can't proceed until you've heard what's being said, but it's being said to you. You know, you are kind of interacting with it rather than watching a cutscene.
So one of the things we were saying before and last time we got to talk to you about this game was that it was important to make each game feel representative of its time period or genre, like without actually just copy pasting. Like this needs to feel like a 90s shooter without actually being a 90s shooter, because they're kind of unplayable at this point, given...
Yeah, well, you know, we kind of got to have our cake and eat it because you get to have the look and some of the ethos of the 90s shooter, but with...
I just walked into a death match.
Nice!
Which is even faster and has really ridiculous gravity settings, which is great.
It's the Unreal
As
part.
it should be.
Yay!
And this level was my son's idea. You should have a fake deathmatch level, and although it was Michael, the level designer, who said it's got to be a low-grav sort of tribute to Unreal.
Yeah.
But it was my son's idea to have the obnoxious teenagers sort of trash talking to you, and so you. If they kill you, they're going to crow about it, and if you kill them, they're going to whine and come up with excuses. So he wrote all that dialogue. In fact, it's his voice you're hearing for all
Oh my
of
god,
them.
that's amazing.
Guess I have to hit that to get out of here.
See, this is why I appreciate this game so much, is because it's like distilled essence of gaming.
Which is extremely weird. Like I feel like we should put this in front of people who don't know games at all and be like, this is how it is. You kill people in a virtual space and then they complain about it.
I'm kind of hoping that we get older gamers that enjoy the nostalgia of the references.
This is almost too accurate. Like I feel I'm cringing at some of the things that people are saying to me right now.
But we're kind of hoping also that maybe younger players will play Bedlam and get a little sense of where the games they play now came from, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
What the precursors were that their dad told them about.
Oh my god.
That was lag.
This is so unreal without actually being unreal. I am dying. It is everything.
Capital Zero.
Wait, you're a girl?
Because Unreal has that very specific feel to it, right?
What's the subtitle, Susan, coming up right now?
Okay.
I'm not putting up with it from you, plums.
Where did you find this antique-ass fossil of a game?
I realised, you guys do have subtitles on. Yeah, that's always quite important with the Glasgow accent.
Oh, get back to playing The Sims. Yep, this is distilled. Love it. So what are you playing now, Christopher?
Oh God, no! I'm not playing a lot of stuff just now because I've got a new novel out in a few months, and I'm writing the next novel just now. So I've been horribly busy, but I get most of my gaming vicariously these days because my son has his computer set up in the same room as mine, and
oh, cool.
I kind of watch what he's up to, and we watch gameplay videos together and listen to the critics and the podcasts. So he kind of takes after me, and I was very monogamous about my Quake playing, and he'll play all the new games, but he always comes back to Team Fortress 2.
Oh wow, okay.
It's like coming home, obviously, and I think it must be the same as when I was playing on clans. You know, you played with the same people, you ran into the same opponents. And I think back then on Team Fortress 2 that there was that great team play ethic that we managed to really take to another level. But who knew hacks would be, you know, a whole solid
So does he think you're basically like the coolest dad ever since you made a video game?
It's certainly raised my stock, it must be said. He's grown up on first-person shooters. When he was very young, I let him. I would control the game and set it up, so I would do the movement. He'd hit a key to fire, and but he was allowed to play. It was like Serious Sam because you could turn off all the blood.
Oh, I love Serious Sam.
There was a hippie setting it was called, and it was flowers that emerged when he shot them.
I always used that. I loved it.
He cut his teeth on that, and so yeah, he definitely scored me a lot of kudos points to be involved in this.
Because I mean, like, novelist dad is cool. That's, you know.
That's an old medium.
Never smiley as a video game dad, you know.
Yeah, like, hey, hey friends, see, you know, PlayStation Network? That's my dad's game. What?
You get to make video game dad jokes, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, he usually is the one making all the jokes, and he's not very merciful. You know, he's 15, you can imagine.
Doing really well in this deathmatch, probably better than I would in an actual deathmatch.
So how is it is the deathmatch time? How do you win?
I have to get 15 frags.
Oh, you have to get 15 frags. Okay. Oh god, frags.
For suicide, it's made me remember all these the zero grav levels when there's no floor. You just keep losing lives because you fall off the thing.
Death by misadventure is usually how I go in these levels.
Get it up, yeah. I was doing this while you were still in nappies, you wee fud.
I like that she's yelling some obscenities back.
It's time to open a six-pack All-American.
I'm now in the Rage Quit reactor.
Then we can start using the Greylax own scary-ass subspace power sources against them.
You're on the winner, yeah.
Yay!
Christopher, do you think that the games have gotten a lot better at telling stories, or have they just gotten better at showing stories?
Oh no, they've got better at telling stories. I mean, one of the main things is it's occurred to them to tell one. You know, I think back in the days of Doom and Quake, they were rightly just intoxicated by what they were able to achieve technologically. You know, but actually creating these engines for moving around in the environment, and nobody really worried too much about the story. And I think we're constantly evolving the mechanics of telling the story using a video game. But that said, speaking as someone who writes stories all day, every day, I still don't want the story to become all important in a game. I want, really, to me, it's always going to be about exploring and interacting with the environment and seeing. To me, sometimes the environment is the story. You know, and in Bedlam, that was, I suppose, the greater environment is the sort of gameverse, the interlinked nature of all the games. But I think that clearly the first-person shooter lends itself to a linear narrative, so that worked for us quite well. Trying to tell stories in a sandbox game is more of an issue, I think.
It's a really perfect secret room back here. It's like just obvious enough for you to notice it.
I love the just giant saw blades in the middle of the room, because why?
Yeah, why not?
Because that's why.
Giant saw blades, yeah. But well, just speaking of these secrets, the level you just finished, the multiplayer level, at an early stage we wanted that to be a secret level, you know, like they had in 90s games, bonus level that you had to find the entrance to, and the idea was that would be an extra level, and you'd maybe get a rocket launcher early by going there, but it was decided that after a while you can't spend the money and the time building a level that a player might not see.
Might miss, yeah.
Right.
Which so I think is a good game.
Would you be interested in ever creating like a BioWare RPG kind of world? That big sort of expansive story?
I think I'd really be. I'm interested in the idea of working inside someone else's IP. You know that. Oh, okay. That it's a world that's already been created, because that's kind of what's happened with me with games is that I've explored someone else's imagination, and that's inspired me to write. But I like the idea of taking an established franchise or IP and writing a story for that. I'm less sanguine about the idea of the BioWare RPG type model because of the sheer scale, you know, the thousands of lines of dialogue that you have to write for branching consequences, and there really is the possibility that no one's ever going to see it or hear it. And nothing more frustrating to a writer than the idea that you've gone to more than write something that no one reads.
So I know a lot of our readers, and certainly folks who join us in the stream, are aspiring writers themselves, and you're a very successful novelist, you've written a bunch, and they're really good. And I'm sure you get asked this all the time, but for newbies, what's the most important thing they need to know about the process?
Well, I suppose Bedlam's a good example. To me, the great cliche about writing is they say write what you know, and I always think you should take it a bit further and write what you love. You know, write what you love to hate. My early career was pretty much built on writing satire. So it was the ridiculing the things that were annoying me. And in the case of something like Bedlam, it was creating a vehicle for my passion. I think if something's fun to write, it's going to be fun to read. The big mistake I made, and a lot of when they're aspiring writers, is they write what they think they ought to write. You know, they write what they think I was looking for, or what they think is appropriate, instead of just writing what entertains themselves. And I wrote 4 novels before I got one published, and that was because the 3 that I wrote initially, I was writing what I thought publishers were looking for.
Oh, wow,
and then when I just wrote to please myself, that was the breakthrough, because suddenly I was writing something that worked for me.
Right. Do you think there's a misunderstanding between what good proper satire is and what's snark is? Because I see a lot of people writing, they're just being mean, and then kind of saying, oh, well, it's satire. Like, no, that's not how satire works.
Yeah,
there's more to it than just sarcasm, really. I think to me it was always about grotesquerie. That you exaggerate the thing that you want to satirize. You exaggerate its flaws and blow it up, and that way it looks ridiculous. But I think you have to have. There always has to be a warm heart in there. You know, I think there has to be someone in. You can't just have a snarky point of view. There has to be a protagonist and a perspective that you can identify with, and that you know that point of view has things that they care about. Because otherwise, you just end up with some kind of monstrous character, who's got no affection for anything.
Right.
The thing with being snarky, I think, is you have to be right to be snarky.
Yeah.
Unequivocally correct in your thinking.
I'm fond of quoting, I think Louis XIV said that it's only the very small man wishes to be right all the time. I'm just looking at some of the comments up the side there, and somebody talked about the
reactor failsafes.
The early days on FPSs, and someone sort of even on 56k modems, anyone on like a proto cable connection was an LPB. I've not heard that term in a while. People who had good connections were known as LPBs because it stood for low ping bastards. Because of the advantage they had. And when I played in the UK and European clan leagues, it was 4-man teams, and there used to be a rule that you could only have 2 LPBs in a team. It was officially written down to 2 LPBs, so you were 2 low ping bastards maximum. in any given team, and if you're substituting a player in, you couldn't have 3 of those. But the other guys were known as HPWs, which stood for High Ping Whiners.
Just that, that's so, everything is just so 90s right there.
We're quite happy if you were pinging 250, as long as it was consistent. I think about the pings that I'm seeing the players now on broadband, they're pinging like 12 milliseconds, and then complete lag.
So do you ever have the, when I was your age conversation with your son about pings?
We didn't get to broadcast our gameplay back in my day.
Yeah.
Have people watch it.
I think I'm mostly just happy for how much better it is for him, but I do like to remind him now and again every time he's complaining about how long it's taking to load something. I remember when he was maybe about 11 or 12, and I was installing Medieval 2 Total War for him.
Oh wow.
About how long it was taking to install, and so I went off while I was waiting for it to install, got my calculator and estimated, going by the size of Medieval 2, how long it would have taken to load using my ZX Spectrum tape. And the answer was 6 years.
Oh my god!
I'm outside the map.
So,
the
but there's no point in saying that. No kid is going to hear that kind of stuff and say, oh, well, I feel much better about this.
I'll never moan about the weather again.
You're a relic.
Now, we were asked to keep you to your half hour. We were asked that very, very sternly. So, I'm going to thank you so much for joining us. It is always
thank you from me as well.
Yeah, I know, it's been a pleasure. I just noticed as well, somebody in the comments has written Jobby on the mantelpiece, woot woot, which that's a reference to the start of my first novel. I mean, talk about, there's how you establish yourself as a writer of great intellectual prowess. You put a turd on a mantelpiece in the opening scene of your debut novel.
Right.
It's almost completely under integrity control. I've always everyone to
I've got
oh, no.
mind the smell of fish.
Yeah, the person, one of the people in the comments section is my son. I've just worked out.
Again.
Who should be in his bed. It's 10. Get to bed.
That is hilarious.
His friends are on there too, so you should get to bed before I start telling tales.
It's only 10:30. He's 15. He can be up for a little while longer.
More energy than the old folks.
It's half-term holiday as well.
And his friend. Oh God.
Almost got me in lovely city, but Bedlam bailed me out.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
This is a really good time to butt out.
I mean, I will happily let you stick around, but
We're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep playing this.
But we were told to make you go because you're apparently very.
We have to kick you out of this virtual room.
Yeah, I've been giving interviews for 12 hours solid today, so
oh my god.
Hello?
A good time for me to call it a night, but it's been
collapse.
A real pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad you enjoyed the book so much too. That it's
absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic. I highly recommend it to everybody in the audience right now.
Thank you very much.
From the Sacred Rain.
Go. Don't do interviews for a while.
No, it's just you and me.
He is delightful.
This game is delightful.
This game is delightful. I am so excited for you to read the book when you are done playing this.
What should I put my play on hold and read the book first, do you think?
Actually that might make sense because if you're going to run into Ross later, then it will
I'll appreciate it more.
Yeah, you'll appreciate it more once you know everything that he goes through. And the Diosperados and the infinity symbols and the whole bit.
I'm gonna load that up on the Kindle and then get going.
It goes really, really fast. It's so good. It's so entertaining.
I've been listening to the audio drama thing for Halo 5, the Hunt the Truth
no
podcast. It's pretty good.
Yeah? What's its deal?
Did you ever listen to Serial, that podcast?
I did not, because...
So it was like the reporter assembling the story as the episodes go by, with like little snippets from interviews and sort of speculation and that kind of thing. It's basically the same thing, except it's a reporter trying to uncover a conspiracy in the Halo universe and why it seems like Master Chief has gone rogue.
Did you actually just see a Rafflecopter? That's amazing.
I mean, that must have been what it is.
That's the best.
I like these purple floors. I kind of want them in my apartment.
So for the Halo thing, it's how long is an episode?
It varies, but it's like usually like 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's
episode.
not bad. Okay.
I was still listening to it on the train. It's pretty good.
Yeah. See,
it's got star power. It's got Keegan-Michael Key as the main narrator.
Who's that?
He's in the skit show Key and Peele.
Oh, he's Key and Peele. Okay.
Yeah. So he has a great voice. Like, you can just listen to him forever.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I do not know where people find an hour and a half to just sit there.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and I don't commute.
You hear the sound effects of me walking like on this material? It's really amusing.
I love that tinny.
Yeah.
It's just the best. Diamond plate, yeah.
I'm about to go to a different... Oh! Everything looks completely different.
That's what's...
That's like... You almost never get that effect in games.
In the book, it's funny because
looking like this.
Him in playing Starfire, well, not playing it, but in it, is such a big chunk that you don't really know that there are other game worlds out there, and you just sort of take it for like, okay, this is the world, and this is who he is in it, and then all of a sudden he's in the World War II shooter, and it's like, oh God, right.
That's where I am right now, and again, I love how obviously the gun is just floating. There's no hand attached to it, and now I get to aim down the sights too, as you would in a World War II shooter. I feel like World War II has been off limits for a while though. Like there hasn't been a World War II shooter in a long, long time.
Because how many different ways can you do a World War II shooter?
That's true.
And also, honestly, I think the biggest reason why it's going to be really tough to do a new one if you were so inclined, you're really limited with regards to weapons.
That's true.
Like, you can't have a jetpack.
No. But you should.
Well, that would be nice.
I didn't say it. It has to be accurate.
Right. Well, true.
Well, the combat feels very different here, and I kind of like that you can still use the weapons from Starfire.
Well, you still look like a cyborg, which is a little problematic.
Oh, grenades.
Not sure what the deal with the crossbow is.
Yeah, so the crossbow I've only found in
the in-between.
The in-between, the gameverse connective tissue.
Are you picking up armor shards? Is that what those are?
I don't know. Yeah, the weaponry of the time sucks.
Well, of course it does.
I was gonna say that. I'm gonna switch back to my Starfire weapons. Ooh, wait, hang on. I got an assault rifle. It's different. This is really funny.
I enjoy how self-aware this all is.
I was just accused of being occult evil.
Well,
which makes sense because I am a cyborg.
Because you're a cyborg, yeah.
American.
It's self-aware without being precious or overly ironic. You know what I mean? It's just it knows games. It knows how they work. It knows that you know games, and so it has a lot of shorthand in it.
Oh, these rooms are so small.
So would you say this is like Medal of Honor?
Did I die? I think I died. Yep, I died.
Oh, did you die?
Yeah. Happens. That's how you know it's a real stream, that a real person is playing, and it's not just
It's not just recorded.
It's not just a program.
Kill the hideous American abomination.
We're not.
Kill the hideous American abomination. I think there was someone else in this building. I'm gonna have to clear it out.
Rue de Chambord Rouge. What's Chambord? I gotta look that up. Because it's... Chambord. What does that mean? Translates.
Hey. I believe I'm kept missing so many times in a row. Okay.
Oh! Ha! So
It's gonna be good, isn't it?
The translation of Chambord is Bedlam. So you're on Bedlam Street. That is awesome.
We just saw the rocket launch kill. That was amusing. Hello. And even the puny Starfire weapon can take these guys out one shot.
Well, it's a laser.
Yeah.
And they're just Nazis.
I only have one sliver of health left, so I have to like be very careful leaving this building.
We actually cannot see your health or ammo because I'm covering up one and you're covering up the other.
It's a mystery. Needless to say, I'm being cautious for a reason.
Well, yes. So, chat, I am curious as to what your favorite World War II game is. Ludwig, do you have one?
I feel like the Medal of Honor ones are pretty good.
Series is cheating. You have to pick one.
Okay. Well, I think Allied Assault was a really good one
Okay.
at the time. Right? It had like the D-Day assault. Remember? Like that was this big thing.
Oh wow!
You could technically say Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh, I saw a infinity symbol.
Was that World War One?
Which one?
The latest Castle Wolfenstein, the Order. Doesn't that start in World War One or World War Two?
That one's kind of cheating.
I like cheating.
But yeah, I guess that counts.
But you know, I think I would go with Allied Assault. I think I enjoyed that one. And I think Call of Duty 2 was pretty good.
We've got another vote for Allied Assault, which came out right. Oh wow, did that come out right after Saving Private Ryan? Jeez.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
That's the only part of that movie I like is the D-Day assault.
Really don't like the rest of it?
It's very tonally flat. There's no peaks and valleys with the drama. It's just very one emotional note the entire way through it. It's very well made, but
yeah, it was very. I mean, I don't want to say traumatic, but it was very intense in the theaters.
Yes.
You kind of left feeling cell shock.
Yeah.
Oh, I just died. I don't know why. Don't know.
Unlock exit door.
So I actually can't see the objective because there's a Skype notification bar right there.
So, well, the main objective is to escape death or glory, but right now you're just trying to unlock the exit door, which is you're going to want to go back in that building, and over one of the doors is a great big infinity symbol.
Was it the building that I was extremely cautious inside?
It was.
I feel like I picked up ammo or a key. Sure. Okay. I will return. But I'm gonna go the long way. Because, got shot in the back.
Uh-oh. And now that objective is gone, so yes, you clearly did something that would allow you to unlock the door.
Right, so I must have picked up the key?
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like there was like a key sound effect. Must be some health around here somewhere. Just picked up a different kind of gun, too. That sounded like a key. Use the old quick save. And die immediately.
Like you do.
Yep. It happens.
It does.
God, who shot me? Oh, there they are.
Oh, Vive la Resistance. I wonder if that's a reference to the Resistance in the World War II game or the Resistance in Bedlam.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
Oh, well, I mean, the Resistance in Bedlam would be pointing you towards the exit.
Oh, man. Okay, I know where they are. I need to take them out in this building strategically because I have no health. And this used to happen all the time in these games.
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah. This is another fun.
Like, well, now I just need to be super duper careful.
And you'd finally have to be like, I just have to restart the level.
Oh, no! Oh, no! That was quick draw McGraw in there. Mad Dog McCree.
Mad Dog McCree. Oh my god! Now I just need to see you finish this.
I love it when a stream creates this kind of moment.
This is kind of like watching you play 1001 Spikes.
Or Trials. Right. You know what? Oh no! I was like standing outside the door, like selecting, which weapon
oh, God,
will increase the likelihood of me surviving this. Rocket launcher.
Well, it is.
You survived that. And I got some armor, maybe?
Oh.
Oh, got a quick save.
Yeah, like, if you make the slightest bit of progress, you gotta save.
Yeah, so I died again, but I quick saved, so...
Okay.
I'm inching my way through the sea. Oh, god damn it!
Everybody watching, it's gonna be like this.
I truly am playing the role of Anthony.
Yeah, well, that's true. Have we been reading the whole Asian masculinity thing on Reddit? No. Does that have anything to do with video games? I don't read Reddit.
And that guy, this is my nemesis now.
Wow, can we talk about this wallpaper though? Good lord.
Oh man, I almost got him. He died, but I died too. It's not acceptable.
Ah!
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bam. Wait for him to come outside. Come on.
And then rocket launch?
Boom. You're gone. I mean, you're literally gone. You're vaporized. See ya. Okay. Quick save and 7 minutes to complete the entire game.
Well, okay, not the entire game, but maybe at least this.
Maybe at least this level.
Yeah.
Still only have 1 pixel of health, so...
Okay. We need to find you a health
Oh no, there's someone in here! I think I got him. Ooh, I found health.
Nice.
My life is way better now.
Okay. Good. Now we're good.
Clearing out this place systematically. Okay. There's usually like an objective marker at the top, like giving you like a direction.
Right, but you gotta find that key again, or whatever it is you did.
I got the key. Oh, there's the infinity sign. I don't really do anything with it. It looks more like a peanut, also.
It's a little peanut-esque. Yes. But yeah, you don't do anything with it. You just follow it.
Maybe this is where I'm supposed to meet someone. One of the resistance. Listen carefully, for I shall say this only once. Did you ever watch Allo Allo, Susan?
Mm-mm.
Amazing British comedy.
What's it called?
Allo Allo.
Oh.
It's about a cafe owner who secretly works for the resistance.
Oh, cool.
And the one of the big jokes in the show is that everyone speaks English with different accents, therefore they cannot understand each other.
Okay, that's hilarious. Oh, you have your new objective. Did you see that?
It says unlock exit door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
I guess I have to kill everyone
Oh.
before leaving.
Well,
Oh, there's a green light above the exit door. And the resistance sign is pointing straight at it. Press E to proceed. Does anyone care about Steam achievements? Like, I see them popping up, but I feel like nobody has any love for Steam achievements.
I don't think so.
They're just, like, so invisible.
It's not like, you know, gamer score or trophies.
Closing the glitches and rerouting all the
Burn is okay, I gotta look up that now.
Who are the Integrity?
The Integrity are the bad guys. You do not want any of that.
This kind of reminds me of Reboot a little bit.
Yeah, it's actually got some crossover themes, for sure. So the Rue de Bernestoon that you are on right now, Bernestoon is a Scottish comedy sketch show. Which is very, very appropriate for Christopher to be referencing.
Do you get a sense that my character is Scottish? Like Heather is Scottish? She has a very strong accent.
Absolutely.
I feel like I've never heard a lead Scottish lady in a video game. Ever. I'm trying to think of one, but this could be a first.
There's gotta be one.
I mean, was there a Brave game?
Oh, I'm sure there was a Brave. You know, I've never seen that movie.
It's pretty good. I think it's underrated.
It has been sitting on my DVR literally for 2 years.
It's not the best Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But I like it. I think it gets unfairly harshed on.
Okay, we now obviously have to have the conversation of what is the best Pixar movie.
Good point. That's tough.
Chat, we're going with best Pixar movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna rule out Cars just right away because there's no chance.
No.
I like WALL-E a whole bunch.
Oh, you're right. It is a Mobius strip, not an infinity sign. You are absolutely right, Numbers. You are completely correct. I apologize.
I love Mobius strips. They're also
with the ants marching on them. Right. You're right. WALL-E. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Jack, it's too sad. I can't watch that movie.
WALL-E gets too sad?
Yeah. He's so lonely.
It all works out in the end.
I know it all works out in the end, but it's just very, very sad. I am going with The Incredibles, I think.
I love The Incredibles.
I think that's an absolutely brilliant movie.
Yeah, I can't wait for the sequel.
I know!
Brad Bird in general is just a great director. I love his movies.
He really is.
Ratatouille. Actually, Ratatouille might be my favorite.
Really?
My favorite Pixar movie.
I'm not fond of that one.
I love it. Like, he did a really good Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol. That was great.
I've watched that movie like 7 times. I love it. It's so well done.
So good. Did you see the new one yet?
I have not.
It's pretty good. It's not as good as Ghost Protocol, but it is a good time.
I'm kind of hoping it's on the plane, because I have an extremely long flight ahead of me, so I'm guessing I'll have a bunch of movies, and I'm hoping that's one of them.
Oh, that'll be perfect. The timing would work out, I think.
Yeah. Is Monsters, Inc. Pixar? It is.
Yes.
And I enjoy that as well.
Yeah, that's a great one, too.
Yeah.
I didn't care so much for Monsters University.
I didn't even bother with it.
It was alright. It's fine.
Oh, Up. Well, Up is pretty great.
Do you, have you seen The Iron Giant, Susan?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm all about that movie. That's probably my favorite animated movie.
It's brilliant. It's an absolutely wonderful movie.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see the signature edition that they just put out in theaters, like, for 2 days.
Yeah.
Grand total of 2 days. Thanks, guys. But it is available for rent now, I think, on, like, digital platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I think iTunes has it. Hopefully this means a Blu-ray release is
imminent
on the cards.
I would think
so. Because that movie deserves more love. Like, they put it on DVD once with no extras, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just a very, like, here's the movie. From back when they used to put things on DVD so it would go into Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Back in the in-between.
So
which I hope means another transition to something interesting.
So So to catch, if you're just joined us in the chat, we're going to explain what is going on here. This game is called Bedlam, and you are a character named Heather who has found herself somehow pulled into the world of video games. So she started off in a 90s era first-person shooter called Starfire, and then she was just in a World War II shooter. And where you see now is the geometry in between video games, and that's where you're going to find out a little bit more about the overarching story of what Neurosphere is, how Heather ended up here, how normal people are in this game world, what these portals are, who the Integrity are, who the Diasperados are, all of that. So
if you look at the gun closely, you can see sort of all the deliberate pixelation, like how the texture seems way too small for the gun, basically. Even though this game is running at 1080p, it's deliberately meant to look like this.
Exactly.
I think I'm still on a World War II game now. I just came back through the portal.
Now this is where it is by necessity going to diverge from the book, because what happens at this point in the book with Ross is way too expensive to pull off with the budget they had. So I'll be very curious to see what actually happens with Heather at this point.
Well, she spends a few minutes wandering around.
Looking for guns.
Mows down some Nazis with the weapon she just got from the in-between. Which is great.
My God!
I just got an autosave, so you know it's about to be a big battle.
Yep. So, like, what you were talking about with the textures on the gun goes back to what we were saying of making it evoke the feeling of, like, that's now we're into, like, the early 2000s. This is like a PS1 game.
It looks a lot cleaner than
the
one we came from.
Yes. So it's very much channeling the spirit of a 2001 shooter without actually literally looking like one. It looks like how you remember it looking, as opposed to how it actually was, which would be hideous.
Wait, I wonder if I still have the... Yes! I do still have the stabby arm.
Well, of course you do, because you're still a cyborg.
No.
Now, in the book, Ross eventually gets the ability to change his appearance, so that he can better blend in with
the video game.
With the video game.
He's in.
I'm wondering if that happens here as well. I'm guessing it might, because otherwise you're just a cyborg forever.
I mean, it's a pretty cool looking cyborg.
As cyborgs go.
Very Quakean.
It is a very Quakean cyborg, yes.
My screen's getting weird. It must mean I'm close to a
glitch.
Portal.
Yep.
Glitch. What's my objective, Susan?
It is to locate the glitch. But yeah, your screen is getting kind of...
Oh, but I think I already found this one. I'm sure that I did this one already.
Well, in keeping with the time, the interiors all kind of look alike.
My favorite thing about the very first Call of Duty was that we just put up a message at the beginning of the game that says, like, you'll see doors. Don't bother opening them. Because they won't open.
Right.
This game is on rails, and if we want you to go into a room, you will. But don't go around, like, touching doors and stuff.
Yeah, just don't even bother.
The message just straight up said that.
It's just painting. Just don't.
Okay, so I need to find a different glitch then. I'm amazed these people can get a shot on me considering how quickly I'm moving. Like, I must be running at super speed.
You are, in fact.
Because I'm a cyborg.
Exactly, yeah. You're a cyborg from a different... oh, actually, no. The game physics apply in each game. But, yeah, you're a cyborg.
Yeah, I would have, like, cyborg legs.
Yep.
Which could propel me.
Why is the Skype showing? Why not? Don't be a door toucher, says Duke.
Don't touch doors, ew. Don't grab those knobs.
That's good. What I'm going to use to. Don't be such a door toucher.
It's like someone who spends too much time looking for items in an environment without moving on.
Okay, that is me. That's
a door. Yeah, you're a door toucher. You're a total door toucher.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. We are actually done our time here.
We've done our time in this video game.
We've done our time. I just looked up and noticed that we're actually past when we were due to be finished.
Right, I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory then.
Okay.
Just rockets flying everywhere.
It's really best, honestly. Can you blow yourself up with a rocket?
Well, I think the Nazis will take care of that. Yep, I'm dead.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so that's the end of our show. That was how it's done. We had Christopher Brookmyre on. It was awesome. We talked about the book that this is based on, Bedlam. It's out now. It's on PS4, Xbox One. I think Xbox One version is actually coming out on Friday.
Yeah, I don't think the Xbox One version is out yet.
It's a few days behind, but this was the PC version, but you can also play it on PS4. It'll be weird to play it with the controller, because you never played a 90s style shooter without a keyboard and mouse.
I do definitely think that if you want the best Bedlam experience, play it on a PC, just because you'll be connected to it the way you would had you actually played these games at the time. Right. Highly recommend the book. It is extremely good. Really, it's a as Christopher was saying, it's a love letter to video games. Highly recommend that. And
maybe a bonus, Susan, just because you're on the stream.
Yeah.
Let's see, sleeping doggy.
Oh, sleeping doggy! I love your puppy. Your puppy. Want to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us and letting us know what your favorite Pixar movies were, what your favorite World War II shooters were. That is all super cool. We can see our schedule for our streams. Please join us whenever you can. And also hit that follow button so that you know whenever we are on the air.
And Monday we're going to have another Caught Up, in which we'll play something that's a little more recent. Although this is recent. It's just not recent in style.
Yeah, exactly.
Play something modern, something with regenerating health and cover-based shooting, probably.
Exactly. And cutscenes, probably.
Lots of cutscenes.
Yes. So that is it. Also, please do follow us on Twitter. That is Games Radar. Be sure to hit up the site, gamesradar.com. And yeah, that does it.
Yep. Thanks for joining us.